I'm Shauna from Infinity Readings, and this will be the reading for the Gemini male for the Valentine's season spring of 2019. Alrighty, I have two pyramids here. I have one pyramid for general energies and one for love and romance. We dip right into that side and dig up a whole bunch of stuff. So I have a general overview card, masculine card, for what might be affecting the masculine overall, over and above everything that's going on, and also a power of surrender card, which may bring out any kind of tips you may need or highlight to some kind of corner here that maybe need to be illuminated or attention drawn to, whatnot. So I'm going to go over those two first. So the first card I get for the general energies for the masculine is the travel card. And this is something that he may be doing a lot of over this time, February, March, April. Might be doing a lot of traveling, or traveling is aspected, or I'm getting a sense here too could be causing some problems. Okay, so keep that in mind. So the power of surrender card is surrender outdated beliefs about yourself. So this Gemini male may be going through a time where he is, as I was laying this card down, they were giving me a sense here, is we are really believing everybody else's belief system about us when it's really not what we should be focusing on. We should be focusing on who we are and how we want to go forward, not how everybody expects us to be and expects us to go forward. There's a vast difference there they're going, and we need to break out of that shell, because there's a shell that this guy's living in, and it seems like he's kind of conforming to what everybody else thinks, but not highly. I don't think he's aware of it. If he was aware of it, I think he'd be breaking out of it, but I think he's not quite aware at this point. But nonetheless, surrender to outdated beliefs about yourself. It says let go of limiting ideas about yourself and that originate from the past. Then you can own your power and soar in your life. And I feel like this man is really trying to break all molds. I feel like he's really coming out of the box here. And I feel like it's because of that everybody else around him is, feeling uncomfortable. I think he's starting to break out of his mold, and it's changing things in his life at this point. So he needs to be aware that he should become his own version of himself, not everybody else's version, especially not the version of the past, because we're trying to grow through that, is the sense I'm getting. So hopefully that makes sense to somebody. So the first card I get in the top of the pyramid here is the moon. So 18, the moon, is always about those things that are kind of illusory to us. There's illusions around us. We may be living in a little bit of an illusion. And I feel somewhat that this Gemini male, again, not intentionally, but there's things going on he's not aware of that are kind of holding him back. Okay? They're holding him back, and they're also things that are going to reveal but have not revealed yet. Okay, and I feel like it just, once these things come to the surface, then it just changes everything, changes the whole path, the trajectory, everything. So we got to be aware of that on some level. So the second card I get is the Six of Wands, and the Six of Wands is about victory, feeling victorious. I feel like he feels very in charge of his life at this point. He's feeling good about where he's at, feeling groovy with the energy, okay? Now on the right, we have 21, the world. And the world can be about completions, but it can also be about, this feeling of being on top of the world, feeling like you have it all. But I got a sense here because it's connected directly with the moon, that it's going to be short-lived, but not in a way, how do I express? I feel like this guy's kind of like the fool running off in a direction. You don't know what to look for or what to trip over, and there's a cliff coming, and he doesn't see that cliff. He's just running. That's the sense I get here, is the moon is kind of that cliff that's coming. There's something coming heavy for this guy that's going to change his trajectory. But I feel like right now, over the Valentine's season, he's really feeling on top of the world, happy, joyful. Things are going good for him. Okay, though he is not illuminated to everything he needs to see, things are still, he's in a good mood, which is not a bad thing. Now, the next card I get is the Six of Cups. Six of Cups deals with the past, feelings of nostalgia in the past. He may be dealing with memories of the past in a good way because it's on the Success card. So we're thinking about things in our past that made us happy and made us feel victorious, and that is kind of echoing into the now. And they're kind of making me, you know, keep track of, you know, outdated beliefs about yourself. Keep track of the fact that we want to make sure that we're growing forward, not backward. We don't want to slip into a false sense of who we are, because we're growing and expanding. This is really what I'm getting for the Gemini male. He's growing and expanding, and we don't want to go back into that mold. We're trying to get out of that mold, and I feel like his world right now, there's going to be things that are going to start to change here, though those little pieces haven't fell into place yet, okay? But nonetheless, Six of Cups is about nostalgia. It's about looking back on happy times, thinking about that, and reviving those days mentally in his mind, okay? The next card we get is the Four of Cups, which is interesting because it's on the Six of Cups, which is kind of the opposite of that feeling. The Four of Cups is about boredom and discontent, and could be even stubbornness along the way here. But it's interesting because the Six of Cups is connected to the sense of victory this man feels over his life at this point, but it's not connected to the world and the change that's coming. But the Four of Cups is. So I feel like whatever it is, and of course we're starting with the moon, the illusion, what's got to change here? And I feel like this man, there's something that's got to change in his life. I don't feel he knows exactly what that is, has no clue. But once he finds out, I think he's not going to be happy with it. Okay, I think he's going to have a sense of discontent. That's where it's going to come from. I have to make this change, and I don't want to make it, and this is what is going to make me unhappy from here on in. Now, the next card I get on the World card is the Seven of Swords. And the Seven of Swords is about sneaky behavior. Now I'm starting to see a picture here where the sneaky behavior might be our own inability to see things clearly, and not only that, the ability to walk away from it. Meaning, if we have something in our lives here that we need to deal with, that needs to change, that we need to spread our wings, and it's creating a crack somewhere, and we don't want that crack to split, I feel like that's unavoidable. I think the split's got to happen, and it may be, you know, the split is somewhere, literally in a relationship somewhere. There's something here that's got to go, and I feel like the sneakiness is the fact that, well, I'll just keep going. I feel like the sneakiness is his own self saying it's not a problem. I'll deal with it. We'll keep going. It's kind of like manipulating his own self to not deal. Now we'll move on here. The next card I get is the Death card. Now when we have the Death and the World, there is some kind of completion here that comes down to transformation, not only of this man, but outside of this man, is the sense I'm getting. There's something that's changed within him, but it's also forced him to see that there's a change outside, and it may be a friendship circle. We have someone here that is in a friendship way. We're going to start with the friends first and go from there. That it's just not working anymore. I'm not happy with these people. I'm not jiving. I'm growing out of these people, and I need to honor that about myself and just move on. It's not like we have to bust apart, but we really have to define who we are and move forward in that. The next card is the Two of Pentacles, and the Two of Pentacles is a sense of pride. I can look at all I can do. I can juggle this. I can juggle that. And I feel like this Gemini male is trying to keep everything afloat, and he's doing a good job at that. But I feel like he's doing it in reaction to the fact of this thing that has to change. I think he's doing it in avoidance of trying to deal with this one thing that he knows he has to kind of, weaseling out of, okay? So I feel like there's a one area here he just doesn't want to face. And the juggling is the fact that I can handle more things. Just give me more things to deal with and I'll fix more things. But this thing, just put it away because I don't want to deal with it. That's the sense I'm getting from the Two of Pentacles. Don't usually get that, but that's very specific for someone. The next card next to it is the Devil card. So we may be dealing with a Capricorn energy, or we may have some energy here, and again, attached right to that Seven of Swords and right to the Four of Cups. So it's attached to the discontentment, and I feel like the Devil here is really, it's they're shouting codependence here. We are not feeling solid on our own. So it does have to do with a relationship here. It can be a codependent relationship. It's a relationship we don't want to let go because we're feeding, both sides are getting something out of this. And usually that's where we got to learn, right? Something's got to be learned here. But nonetheless, that's on the Seven of Swords. So I feel like we're tied to something here we're not ready to let go of, whether it's a relationship, friendship, whatever. Okay? Now the last card is the Queen of Cups. So the Queen of Cups is a water sign, so Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. Also, the Death card is a symbol of a Scorpio. So you might have a Scorpio in your midst here, okay? But the Queen of Cups is about, she's got a lot of emotions brewing, and I feel like this is also part of the personality that this male is taking on. There's a lot of emotional stuff brewing in this man. He is developing in all areas. So emotionally centered, all of that. And a lot of these men, they don't know what to do with that. So they keep themselves busy so they avoid having to deal with the emotions and whatnot. And then that Queen of Cups, she's looking at those emotions swirling in there, you know, and it almost gives me a sense here, the Six of Cups, the nostalgia, trying to think of things, assess things on an emotional level. That's what I feel is going on here. Queen of Cups is really trying to get to the bottom of things, balance the emotional centers, and figure out what means the most here. So we may have some swings emotionally that we're dealing with. And I mean, we have the Six of Cups by the Four of Cups, so that's back and forth. That's high and low, you know, high and, or at least mid-range, right? Because the Four of Cups, it's like almost like there's things being offered to this man in his reality. He's just discontent with them. He's not wanting to indulge, okay? And these are cups, so it's about emotions. It's things that bring out your emotions, and it's having to do with that. So that's your base energies, just strictly in the tarot. Now, we're going to go into the love and romance side and see if we can't flip some gears here. So the first card we get for the Gemini male is the Queen of Wands. So the Queen of Wands might be a partner that you carry. It also is someone who is, man, this card is always about being blown away or having those feelings. And the sense I get here is reminiscing. Again, we're highly reminiscing about something, emotions, feelings, things that brought out our feelings, days that brought out our feelings. And I feel like whether singled or coupled, I feel like we're just getting lost in memories of a day when we were having a lot of romantic things going on, a lot of happiness that he doesn't feel, he's missing it. So he's not feeling it's here today. So on top of that, we get the Four of Pentacles. And the Four of Pentacles is about a man who's got fiery passion and going to a woman, and the woman is somewhat disinterested, at least uninvolved here. So there's a sense of wanting to go out in passion, but the object of your affection is not quite on board. One, it could be someone that's not knowing of this, or if you're like a single and you have maybe you have a flame for somebody, but they don't know yet, or it's just in the beginning stages. It could be that kind of a thing on a physical level. Or if you're in a couple here, it could be that you're going outward to your couple. You're thinking about days when things were better and you're trying to go outward to your partner, but there's no reception there. Okay, that's what I'm getting. The next card on the romance side is the Five of Pentacles. And the Five of Pentacles is about, is really kind of about being out in public and having public displays of affection. And, you know, yeah, they're showing me pay attention to the man's face, because a lot of times I attribute this card to mean we're going out, we're partying, we're having fun, making a little bit of it a spectacle of ourselves, but nonetheless, we don't really care. It's just one of those let loose with your partner thing. But they're going here, the partner's not so wonderful with it. So this is about going out with your partner in a public kind of way, showing affections where your partner is not as receptive as you are, or you're not, you know, you're not as receptive to your partner. One of the two here. But they're making me think of the male, and we're doing the male reading. So it's like we may have our partner fawning over us affectionately, and we're not really jiving with it. Okay, it's a feeling of I'm not on that level, but we're kind of putting up with it because we're just in a couple, right? We're supposed to do that. Okay, now the next card we get is the Six of Wands, which is confusing. Because there's a sense of discontent with the partner, okay? And again, I'll split this up, singles and couples, but for now I'm just going to leave it at both. A sense here that we have a woman that is very flattered to be with us, very expressive in a flirty kind of way in public. But when it comes down to private, I get the sense they want to take off. Now this woman's got different color hair. They're making me notice that. It's like, so if we're lightly dating, there's a partner here that's fawning all over us, flirting on us, and we're kind of being a gentleman and putting up with it, but we're not into it, not feeling it at all. And then on the Six of Wands side, we have that flame of passion. It's like there's a flame of passion for someone else that we want, and we're going to go after it. So those that are singled are kind of in the dating scene and getting out there. We have some aggressive women coming and sitting in our laps and paying us attention. This is metaphorically, by the way. But we're not highly into it. We have a direction we want to go, and it may be someone that we have not connected yet with, but we have a strong urge and passion to go in that direction. We're going to go there. Now, for the couples, simply stated, there's a man here. He's out in public with his girlfriend or partner, and she's having all the fun in the world and flirting and everything, but he's just something. It's almost like there's an argument that went on earlier in the evening, and she's long forgot the argument, but he's still brewing about it. It's kind of that kind of scenario is what I'm getting from here. And then the Six of Wands is stating in the coupled scene, it's stating, you know, it's almost like the PDA is turning him off, but let me get you in the bedroom and then we'll talk. That kind of thing. This is what I'm getting from this. Forgive me, but that's what I'm getting. Yeah, so there's a sense here. It's like I don't like fawning, you know, out in public, but in private, you know, things can take a different turn. I get a sense here, actually, is what they're telling me, is it's the opposite for the woman. She likes being out in public and being a spectacle, but when you get her in private, she doesn't like being fawned over. So that may be maybe two ways of being. This partner is kind of back and forth, and there's a sense the male likes the bedroom action. Who does it? And then the female just likes to kind of go out in public and show off. But when it's down to the one-on-one, she's not so much into that. Okay? So interesting. So it might come down to an issue, right? The root ball here may be an issue that they had a fight, and this is sometimes how things go. Okay. So the next card is the Empress. So the Empress is about, it's the epitome of the mother here. Like, it's funny how they show puppies in the background, but nonetheless, this woman, the Empress, is supposed to be the epitome of motherhood, the abundance of motherhood, the compassion, the love, the caring, the harvest, everything. She's got it all, right? So a sense here that we either have that or are looking for that. Now, the interesting thing is, singled or coupled, we have a Ten of Swords here. So either in a coupled relationship, we have an Empress here is not too happy, okay? So that may be why she's not connecting in the bedroom. There's something going on here that has upset her highly, okay? Okay. And they're going, keep in mind that this woman could be the male figure. The male could be the one that is out of whack here, that is depressed and sad, because I was getting that energy from him all along. Yeah. And what's going on is it's like he's unhappy with the motherly figure that he has in his midst, or the motherly figure has inflicted something upon him that has created a sense of ending here. I feel like for the couple, there's something here in the relationship that has created a wedge that I don't know can be fixed, okay? That's the sense. As I move on the row here, okay, the King of Pentacles. So the King of Pentacles is in the romance deck, he's the one that holds all the keys, and I'm saying keys to the house, to the car, to the, so we're talking about finances here, and we're talking about stability and sturdiness. And the King of Pentacles, he's very much in charge of what he does. He's very sturdy in his job, sturdy with what he owns. He is good with money and handles money well. He deals with everything with the utmost respect, including money, right? Now, that's all I'm getting there. Okay, money foundations. On the intimate side, we have the Ace of Wands. This is interesting. Now, if we're talking about singles, this is easy. So we have a Gemini here who is coming from an element of earth, meaning a little out of his element, but nonetheless he is cornered the finances. He's grounded, sturdy, stable, and therefore he's being pinpointed by partners for this. Okay, this is the sense I'm getting. The Ace of Wands about new beginnings. So you may be dating, maybe in a scenario where you are starting a new beginning with someone who you have a great affection for. Now, Wands is about fire and flames. Now there's a big story here. Wands is not his element. His element is air. We have to mention that. This card in the fire here, we have a couple that's burning up in the background, okay? So we're talking about singles. There's very recently someone that we have broke from, or we may have broke a long time ago, but we have not dealt with the issues. Like we may have some baggage here to burn away, right? Is the sense I'm getting. There's something here. They illuminate that couple in the fire to symbolize there's stuff here that needs to be dealt with and burnt away. And then, of course, accentuating the couple. Now we have to be careful because this man is touching her belly, and her belly seems quite swollen to me. Seems quite swollen to me. Now that could be the beginning of something in that way. We could have a pregnancy here, okay, that we're dealing with. Normally I need a little more than this, but that's the sense I'm getting. I'm getting a sense of two partners here. And so you may be, if you're a single Gemini, you may be dealing with a woman here who is pregnant by someone else, okay? But that relationship is done, and you've decided to take care and move on from here and help her with that situation. I feel like that's, if not financially, yeah, I feel like that hits. If not financially helping her, we're definitely passionately helping her as well, okay? Soothing her, helping her get forward, and I wouldn't be surprised if there wasn't something you could learn from that as you move forward. So that's the singles. Okay, I'm going to go over the couples in a bit here. Now, then we get the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles, again, putting money above all else. So this Gemini male, he really is trying to concentrate on his stability forward, feeling very successful in that, yet discontent in the romance area is the sense I'm getting. There's nothing else left here. It's just, yeah, we feel victorious on top of the world. Our finances, we're handling all of that. In fact, we're handling that and lesser degree the romance situation, okay? So on top of that, we have the King of Wands, which is interesting because we have an Ace of Wands here and a King of Wands. And the King of Wands is really that dude that really has all the, he's got the flower crown around his head, symbolizing the affection and the compassion he brings forward, and the way he's engulfed in this woman with passion, but also affection and gentleness, right? This is like the dreamiest partner. When I went through this deck, I'm like, oh yeah, that's the one you want. That's the, you know, fluffy cloud guy, the one that's in your dreams, right? He just comes in and he engulfs you with his hug and everything's better. So this is interesting that it sits here, and I'm going to move on to the next one because I feel like, I don't know what I feel here. So 11, which is the Justice in this deck for the romance deck. There's something here. Yeah, when we have the Justice card in the romance area, we're talking about relationships in a way that either we are going to take a break from a relationship to balance things out. Something is out of balance is the sense I'm getting. We have the Knight of Pentacles as an earth sign offering to a woman. They're accentuating the woman here. And then we have the King of Wands. So what's going on? I feel like these are separate energies because the Ace of Wands is connected to the King of Wands. And that's because if we have the 10 here, okay, I'm going to try and make sense of this. We have a man who's going to a partner physically, not interested. Not being rejected, but just not playing in. We're not getting what we want in the passion. There's a sense here this man wants to go out and get what he wants, and he's going to do that. The problem is we have a woman in the way. So there may be a motherly figure or someone who is the mother to your children that is creating some kind of heartbreak. Now you're strong and sturdy with your money. There's the Ace of Wands. There's new revived passion that makes its way to the King. Now, if we work our way from the Ace of Wands to the King of Wands, and then the 10 of Swords cuts things off, man, that just is crazy. I have to think about this. The Justice is on top of the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is about someone making an offer. A very sturdy, solid offer forward for a relationship, a physical relationship at least, an emotional relationship at most, and both at most. Okay, here's the deal. For this singles, I feel like we're going through a situation here where we're in and amongst, again, we're dating people and we're highly passionate towards someone, but it may have ended abruptly, is the sense I get. And now we're finding a new direction here with the Ace of Wands and really feeling that we could go all the way with this. This is our one, right? Feeling highly connected, passionately. I feel like the emotions are going to come, but right now it's the passion that's bringing us forward. And then we're going to make some kind of an offer in the future. that we can stand up for. And it's under the justice. Could be something that happens in the courts, meaning like a marriage, an engagement, or an offer of move in with me, that kind of thing. Okay, and that's for the singles. Yeah, kind of tumultuous over this time. I feel like there's close-knit relationships, meaning we split up with one and then we're right next, we're dating. So we're very highly dating, very much in that zone. Now, for the couples, the Gemini male, again, focusing on work, trying to keep things stable. There's stuff going on in the relationship here. Not talking about it. Maybe to the degree where this Gemini male is trying to avoid the situation altogether. And that may be the sneakiness. If not, it is outside of him. I feel like the sneakiness, if that is part of the moon card, meaning things that we don't know, then it is outside of ourselves. We are not the one being sneaky. I get a high sense of that. It's outside of that. Okay? But if we're manipulating ourselves, that's where it fits. Now, the death card, there's some kind of a transition here. Again, we're unaware at this point, but we're juggling a lot of things, trying to stay out of the zone where we know we have to deal with stuff is really what I'm getting here. Highly. And then realizing that there's a lot of emotional, I feel like the real key here is to go to our emotions and start dealing with those, and then we'll see things clearly. I feel like the moon is going to illuminate here, but it may be until summer, till that comes out, what we need to deal with highly. Now, as we get into the romance side, we get the Queen of Wands. So you might have, again, a fire sign, an Aries, Leo, or Sag. Someone here who is reminiscing about things. I feel, and they're going and disconnected. So we may have a partner here that is very disconnected. Their head's all over the place, but is not dealing with us. But we're never home long enough to deal with, so that's kind of the situation. And then the Four of Pentacles, simply stating, you know, the bedroom's not the first place that we go. Okay, we'll leave it at that. The Five of Pentacles, for the coupled, is a situation where, like, I feel I'm just getting this scenario heavy, that, you know, it's kind of like outward appearances, right? The wife is kind of trying to make everything happy and light and fluffy, and the man's going, you know, I'm in a mood here and I'm not happy. You know, like either they just had a fight and he's not quite over brooding yet, but she's kind of moving on. That kind of a thing. So it's almost like out in public, she's trying to put on a show for everybody that things aren't, you know, we're doing okay, everything's fine, it's great. But he's like, no, it's not. And then the Six of Wands, which is interesting again, on the coupled side, there's a sense here of wanting to go out passionately, I think, to the partner. That's what's going on here. Where we've got a fire and a passion, we want to go outward, but there's things getting in the way and we're not dealing with them properly. It's really the sense I'm getting. Yeah, that fits better. It's like we got some issues here that the wifey is sweeping under the rug, or the girlfriend or the partner is sweeping under the rug, and that's fine. They want to do that. I have to brood in my own way, but I still have a passion and I'm going to go after that. Okay. And the next card is the Empress, stating that we have an Empress here, someone we put in high esteem, but then we have the Ten of Swords on top of that. And it's like we may have a situation here where the partner is throwing daggers in the bedroom, which means if you hurt me outside of the bedroom, I'm going to hurt you by not giving you any in the bedroom. This kind of fighting is what I'm getting. It's like, well, if you want to shoot me down outside, I'm going to shoot you down inside the bedroom. This is what I'm getting. So that's where, I think that's where the Ten of Swords sits. Okay. And then as we go on, We have the King of Pentacles, and the King of Pentacles again being that strong, sturdy male that he wants to be, and he's in charge of his finances. And really, no matter what, that is the key thing here in this relationship, I feel, is this man carries the money, and this man makes the decisions, and this man has power because of that, and should have power because of that. I feel like the Gemini male is more than kind of putting his foot down about money, but there's something about money because we got it in a few places here. So we'll move on. Okay, the Ace of Wands. Simply what I'm getting from this is that we have, if we have a couple here, we have a pregnancy going on. So we have a situation where we have a pregnancy. Now, the Ace of Wands is about new beginnings. So we may have, for the couple here, there may be somebody in the background here that is affecting our relationship, okay? That's the sense, because they're going, no, we're not forgetting that pair in the background here that's on fire. There's somebody, either an ex of the partner or an ex of yours, that is really some baggage that still needs to be dealt with in the relationship. And the new beginning, we get to think highly where that sits. Because if it is not a pregnancy or a birth, it may be an urge to want to start something new. And if it's like, I want a new beginning with my partner, I feel like that may be what he's avoiding. Not talking to the partner and going, okay, this is what I need to deal with. Things aren't washing right, and I'm not happy, and we got to change things. And then the Ace of Wands, after that conversation, would fit. But if we're not having that conversation, it don't fit. So I'm going to move on. Next card, the Ace of Pentacles. And the Ace of Pentacles is simply, this Gemini male is putting a priority on his finances, and that is what I put above all else. The King of Wands sits here, and it kind of don't fit, especially for the coupled, for the dating, the lightly dating and single, it fits, but for the coupled, it just doesn't fit. Now, the reason, we have the Ace of Wands, Ace of Coins, which is, putting finances above all else, and then we have the King of Wands, which follows up that Ace of Wands. Now, if we go in that direction, this man is highly attuned to making sure the finances are stable. That's a given. So that kind of takes all the romance out, because this man's overworked, underpaid, that kind of thing. This is what I'm getting a sense of. May not be underpaid, but he's working his way with the finances, and that's all he's doing. That's all he's focusing on. And the Ace of Wands and the King of Wands, I feel like there's no time for this. So how's this getting done? Then we go on the 11, which is the Justice. And the Justice comes just after the 10, which is the heartbreak, which can talk about legal issues, legalities, things that are going on. This may be something that's going on in this man's life outside of, like, I'm not getting a sense here. I'm getting a lot of characters. Okay, we have two men here. Two men and an ending. And if we're not talking about singles, how do we fit that into a coupled relationship? Okay, there's something here that has to end in order to gain justice over this stability forward. This is kind of confusing me at this point. These cards are not making sense. I have a man that's focused on his finances, being rejected, passively rejecting in the bedroom. No, I got a headache. I don't want. Okay, from the partner. A sense of him wanting that and not being able to get that. And then a sense on top of that, this is my partner and I want to express love equally, and I cannot do that, and it is heartbreaking for this person. Then he is just simply focusing on the finances and starting in a new direction, and then there's a Knight of Pentacles making an offer, and they go, this is not the Gemini male making an offer. This is someone else. So who is it? Is it the partner making an offer to someone else, or accepting an offer from someone else? What's going on here? Again, that doesn't fit. I feel like it doesn't belong there. That's what I feel. This Knight of Pentacles does not belong here. And the Justice with the eyes closed. I feel like there's something going on here. That's more than what's being said. But nonetheless, this man is yearning for physical contact from his partner, okay, is the sense I'm getting. Not getting it. We're getting rejected passively, okay, passive aggressively. I feel like the partner, I'm not going to pull no more cards here. You may have a water sign partner or someone that carries those traits or we may have a partner here that is highly volatile. Because we got the trine here of the Devil, the Seven of Swords, and the Queen of Cups. So we may have someone who's highly volatile with their emotions. And this is something that we are having a hard time dealing with. Or this is why we are working overtime and not dealing, because we're having a hard time with that. That may be the scenario here, but it still don't make sense in the romance area. Yeah, there's two men here, not just one. So I don't know where that sits. I'm going to leave that with you because I don't have defining cards. I have an Empress here, so I have a mother. Card that is a mother. Of a mother, someone with children. She's creating heartbreak to the Gemini male. Single or coupled. This is what's going on. Now, we have an Ace of Wands on top of this Pentacles dude. Yeah. That is trying to soothe. Yeah, he may be trying to bring the relationship back, is what's going on. We may have some baggage in the past here having to do with this relationship that we haven't dealt with, that is still hovering. That could be the what's going on here. Maybe dealing with some baggage here from our past, and it's bringing up our issues, and we're running away from it at work. Yeah. In the meantime, I feel like this Gemini male really wants to do the right thing and be that man for the woman, but I feel like the woman is accepting offers from other men. And I don't feel like, I don't know if it's all the way offers or if we're talking about just, what's the word? Being verbally intimate with someone else. Saying, I got these problems and this problems, and they're not sharing it with their partner, but they're sharing it with other males outside of their partner, and that doesn't bode well for the intimacy of the partner, and that's what they feel it, even though they're not there listening to it, right? I think that's what I'm getting here, is that there's problems in the relationship, they're not being dealt with in the relationship. So the male is kind of averting, and the partner is going outward of that. And I feel like to other males, talking to other males, I don't feel heavily, whether she's dipping into this or not, I don't know, but there's there's an area here where there's a sneakiness going on, because if we know our partner's there and seen it, he would be offended. So we need to keep that in mind. You've got to make sure that we're not in this relationship for the partners of the Gemini male, that we're not in this relationship just for the fact that we have someone that's sturdy and solid financially. If this is their paycheck, they got to make sure that they're there on all levels, not just for the paycheck, because there's a sense here of that. There's a sense of just staying and being, locked in a key here, locked in a box, not wanting to cause any ruckus because this man's paying the bills and that's all I need. That's what I need. I need someone to pay the bills. I can't do it on my own. That kind of thing. So that's kind of, you don't want to be in that position. Yeah, I get a sense that it's kind of in the midst of, are we going to deal with this with ourselves, or are we going to go outward and fix? And I feel like there's some mysteries here yet to be revealed, because this woman is sitting on stuff that she's reminiscent about. This man, he's reminiscent about things. So this is kind of the beginning phase where we got to learn to deal with our issues, I think, is what's going on for some of these guys. Gemini male. Some of these guys are got to start bringing it home, meaning they got to bring their issues to their partner and deal with it, everything on the board, on the table, that kind of thing. So I feel like there's too much underground stuff here and too much an illusion, and I feel like this man is going to find out either way. Like everything's all subtle and we can kind of float over it here. It's okay. This man is learning from his partner, is what I'm getting, how to put a mask on and pretend like everything's okay. He's learning that from the partner, and that's not a good trait to have. So this is the sense here, is we're starting to roll downhill. That's how I have to make sense of it here, because it's really, there's a lot here I feel is potential energy that's going to come at him, and it's going to be the moon coming to the day, and that's going to be all the stuff that this man needs to see and hear and deal with. And it's just going to be all out there, but it is not yet hit. This man feels it. He's getting himself busy, getting ready, and eventually it'll come to bear. But in the meantime, we're avoiding, sweeping under the rug, that kind of thing. So to review here, sorry I'm yapping. The overview card for the male was the travel card. So we might be in a position where we have to travel for work, or we're away for a long period of time from our partner. So this creates a distance, creates where we talk to other people instead of our own partner, where our partners do the same, that kind of thing. And the surrender card was outdated beliefs about yourself. Let go of limiting ideas about yourself that originate from the past, and then you can own your own power and soar in your life. And that's the thing that very highly when I was shuffling, is they're going, this man is no longer going to go back to what everybody thinks of him, meaning this man is viewed outside of himself by maybe family, friends, whoever in his social circles as being one way, but he has grown in the past years to a man that does not fit that mold anymore. So we should not be ashamed to buck everybody else's opinion just because. You are who you are, and you go forward in that, and that is your power. If you let others dictate what you do and say, you will not be happy. And this is what this man knows instinctively, but he is yet to stand up for or need to do so at this point. And I feel like there's going to be some kind of heaviness coming down after this in the summer here somehow. There's going to be a heaviness come down where his life is going to change no matter. And I feel like that's the universal tower maybe hitting. And that energy is there to swipe, because this man is growing and evolving, and where he's at is not growing and evolving, so something's got to give here. This man is not going backwards, he's going forwards. So this is the dilemma, this is the energy they're giving me, right? This is what's going to happen. So something's got to give here, and it's this man moving into the powerful person that he can be. And he was not powerful before. He knows this. He's not taken complete tally of all of this, but he's gonna. And as he goes through, he's gonna step into his power of his own and move forward. So very interesting read. He's really filling his slate with stuff to avoid dealing with the base issues. And though he's handling this pretty well, Geminis, they can do a lot of things at once. It's kind of not good spiritually for him, and he's starting to feel that deep down. He's feeling discontent and not happy about things, and so this is what's going on, and this is what's brewing. So somehow in the relationship sector here, single or couple, there's going to be some disappointments revealed, and we're going to have to deal with that as we go and move forward. Okay? So that's that. I'm not going to say, this, that, and the other. That's all I got. That's what I'm going to put forth. Because I feel like this is going to unfold over time into something where we realize, for now, this Gemini's on top of the world. He's feeling that. but there's some issues here that he's not dealing with, and that's the sense I get. He's kind of sneaking around the issues, and we're seeing things spiritually, we're realizing things, just don't want to deal with it. So in the meantime, that is the reading for the Gemini male, single and coupled, for the Valentine's season, so February, March, April of 2019. So hopefully that helps you in some way. I don't know, probably depressing for some, but there's a reason that the information is given in the way that it is to help you evolve and to somewhat get you going. There's only so much that you can know beforehand, and you know, that's really part of the process of growing through these things, is not knowing everything. Because if you knew everything, then what would you do? What would you really do, right? How would you really choose? So they're kind of, the spirit's kind of, you know, meandering, you know, let's fill in this box, you know, and part of it too is to learn how to use your instinct along the way. Because this man is highly instinctual, but really doesn't trust, doesn't like to go outward in it. And there's certain areas too, like, you know, in the romance area you don't want to risk, or maybe in the job you feel more free to do that, or other areas, you know, you feel better about going forward in that way, but other areas you just shut down and you say, nope, it's not worth the risk. And that happens with everybody differently. So anyway, that is the Gemini reading. So hopefully that helps you in some kind of way. Take care, have fun, and be kind.